Hey everybody, in today's video I want to help you out with your glutes, those incredibly strong muscles in the back of your butt and side of your hip that help you with activities like standing, walking, running, jumping, and all sorts of other amazing things. A lot of people have challenges with their glutes because the glutes are weak or perhaps they're just not functioning in the right way. And there's many people concerned about a condition that is called gluteal amnesia or dead butt syndrome, where the glutes actually have maybe forgotten how to work correctly, or they may just be being inhibited from working in the right way. And I want to help you figure out what sort of problems can come from this, how you can identify whether this is an issue that you have, and then I'm going to give you some simple exercises that you can do to help the situation. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dr. Todd Martin, creator of The Walking Code. As you watch the video, if you're enjoying it, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Also, I want to let you know about an upcoming live virtual session that I'm going to be having on July 14th, where you can have your questions answered and even come on video and have me give you some tips on your walking technique. If you're interested in that live session, there'll be a link above or in the description section. Now let's go ahead and get started. The first tip-off that could indicate some problems going on with your glutes is pain. If you're having pain in your butt cheek here or on the side of your hip when you're standing, walking, or doing other activities, that could be a sign of some gluteal problems. If you have pain in your hamstrings when you're doing activities like walking upstairs or doing step-ups at the gym, that could be another indication of some gluteal issues. Then there are some functional things you'll want to look at. Are you able to keep balance on one leg, or do you topple side to side between steps when you're walking? Other indications could be your pelvis being tipped forward in an anterior pelvic tilt when you're walking or standing or doing any other activities. That could be a sign that the glutes are having some trouble. Or even if you're just leaning forward when you walk, or having a heavy heel strike, which could cause pain in your feet, your knees, your hips, and even your lower back. Those all can be signs of either gluteal dysfunction, weakness, or just not coordinating the glutes correctly with the rest of your core. If you want to test your glutes out and see if they're functioning, I'm going to give you several different steps that you can take to figure that out. Number one is the Trendelenburg sign. So this is the gluteus medius, which is the one on the side of the hip. That functions to keep your pelvis in a stable position laterally, so it doesn't tip over this way when you're standing. So your gluteus medius is going to contract, and when it's strong, it helps to keep your pelvis in a level position when you're on one leg. So practice standing on one leg with the other leg out in front and see if you can keep everything aligned and not have your pelvis tip over this way. If you can't hold that position for at least 15 seconds, there may be some weakness going on in your gluteus medius, and at the end of the video we're going to be working on some exercises to help that out. Now we're going to get down on the ground and check your glutes out in another couple different ways. The first thing we're going to do is just do a glute squeeze. Lie down on your back and put your hands underneath your butt, and then you're going to contract your glutes one at a time and see if you can really feel that glute contraction. So I'm going to squeeze the right butt cheek and really feel that contraction, and then the left one and really feel that good glute contraction. If you really feel it going there, that means that glute is functional. Staying in the same position, we're going to do a bridge. A bridge is a great exercise for your glutes and for your core. We're going to put our feet flat on the ground, and then we're going to raise our pelvis up until we have a nice line between our knees and our shoulders. And to do a really good check for your glutes, we're going to lift up one leg and see if you can maintain that position for 15 seconds and see if you can feel the glutes contracting holding that position for you. So I'm going to lift up my right leg and hold that position and really feel the glute contracting. If you feel all the contraction in other muscles, then your glutes may not be functioning well. The next thing you can do to check out your gluteal function is to check your pelvic positioning. You can do this in the mirror or have somebody check for you. You want to see if your belt line is parallel to the ground, meaning your pelvis is in a neutral position, not tilted forward or tilted back. And so your pelvis is this area right here. You want to have your spine lined up nicely with the pelvis. And if you think about your pelvis as a bowl, you don't want it pouring water out the front or pouring water out the back. If your pelvis is tipped forward like this, where water might be pouring out the front, especially if you have an exaggerated arch in your lower back, that could indicate an anterior pelvic tilt and some glute dysfunction. But it's not just the glutes, it may also be your lower abs that are not coordinating correctly with your glutes, creating some of that glute malfunction and that anterior pelvic tilt. The way you walk can also be a good indication of whether or not there's a glute problem going on. When you're walking, if you're doing it correctly, you should be able to pass through this position where your heel is hovering just over the ground before you place the heel and continue walking. If you find that with every step you take, you end up crashing into the heel without being able to pause in this position, that can indicate a glute problem. Not just glute weakness or dysfunction, but it's a matter of coordination with the rest of your core muscles. I work a lot on how you can help coordinate these muscles together to create a smooth, fluid, low-impact walk in my other videos. If you have this sort of problem, I definitely recommend watching a lot of my other videos because you will learn those techniques and it's really going to help. For the final test, when you're walking upstairs, if you find that you're bending over like this to get yourself up, that can be a problem with the way you're coordinating or using your glutes. You should be able to walk up steps with perfect vertical posture. Now let me share some simple exercises that you can use to strengthen your glutes and improve the way your glutes are coordinating with the rest of your body. First of all, we're going to simply do a single leg balance challenge and try to hold it. So we're going to take our weight onto one leg, bringing the other leg out in front, and try to hold this position for 30 seconds. This is really going to get that gluteus medius on the side of your butt working. If it starts getting really tired before that and you start to tip over, it means that muscle's a little bit weak, and this is going to help strengthen it. Then of course you're going to switch sides and do the same challenge on the other side, strengthening the gluteus medius over here. If you really want to maximize some benefit from this exercise, what we're going to do is take it to another level and do some forward and back movements of the leg, because that's going to help you coordinate the waist muscles with your hip muscles. And it's going to help the function of your gluteus maximus and your gluteus medius that's keeping that balance. So in this position, we're really working the gluteus medius, and then we're going to work the gluteus maximus on the other side and coordinate that with your waist motion. By pushing down with your heel in front, that's going to use the gluteus maximus on the swing leg side. Then you're going to raise your foot up, bring it back, and reach back and touch your toe behind. And then bring your leg up, rotate it forward, and then bring it down. And you're going to do this and try to do that 10 times. That's going to be working your balance, and it's also going to be working your coordination with your waist muscles. And of course, you're always going to want to do that on both sides. Now we're going to get back down on the floor and do a couple more exercises that are going to help your glutes. First, we're going to do side leg raises. We're going to keep the upper leg straight with a slight contraction in your quad muscles so you can keep the knee from bending. And then we're going to lift your leg up straight to the side, about 12 inches, and you want to hold it there for about 6 seconds. Don't tip forward or backward. And then we're going to lower it back down in a controlled fashion. Then we're going to do it again, holding for 6 seconds, and we want to do about 8 to 12 repetitions. And then of course switch to the other side and do it on that side to help work the glutes on both sides. Now we're going to do an exercise called a clamshell. And so for this one, you're going to bend your knees slightly, keeping your feet together. You can lay your head down on a pillow if you want to. Now you're going to raise your knee up on the upper leg, opening your legs like a clamshell. And you're going to hold that for about 6 seconds. It's harder than it looks. You'll really feel that. And then you're going to bring it back down, nice and slowly, and then repeat this exercise about 8 to 12 times. While staying down on the mat, we're going to do our bridges again, keeping your feet flat and then raising your butt up so it is in a straight line from your knees down to your shoulders. And you're going to hold that for about 6 seconds. Lower down, nice and controlled, and then repeat. And you're going to want to repeat this about 8 to 12 times. This is going to strengthen your gluteus maximus in the back of the butt, as well as a little bit on the side. You'll feel that. The next exercise we're going to do is more of a stretching exercise, which is going to help stretch your lower back out and your hip flexors. Because a lot of people who are standing with an anterior pelvic tilt, or people who sit a long time, their lower back muscles and their hip flexors can get tight, pulling the pelvis forward. So we're going to do the yoga cow and cat. We're going to begin with our palms on the ground and knees parallel on the ground. For the cat pose, we're going to exhale as we round the back and tuck the pelvis. Keep your hips over your knees. Your head is going to lower and your chin is going to tuck towards your chest. Draw your navel in towards your spine. For the cow pose, we're going to inhale and reverse the position, lifting the tailbone up while lowering the belly and raising the gaze up. The final exercise I'm going to give you is a simple movement from Tai Chi that'll help with your coordination and with your pelvic alignment. We're going to do what's called a push. Standing with your rear leg with the foot angled out at about 45 degrees, front leg facing forward, and we're going to take the palm on the side of the rear leg and we're going to push it forward, really pushing from the glutes on the rear leg. The points that you're going to want to watch for are this. If you find yourself leaning forward like this, it means that you don't have good pelvic alignment. Activating those glutes will put your pelvis into the proper alignment so you have vertical posture. You should really feel the squeeze in the glutes here. And if you're tight in the front, you're going to feel the stretch in your hip flexors right here. To make this exercise even more dynamic, we're going to do this movement. We're going to shift back and circle your arm up and then down as you circle your other palm up by your ear, and then you're going to push forward and try to have that vertical posture. Really feel the squeeze in the glutes, feel the stretch here in the front of the thigh, your hip flexors, and then circle back and push. Watch out for that. Make sure to get the vertical posture, getting that glute really working. And practice that on both sides so you get both glutes working and both hip flexors nice and stretched out. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, click on the notifications bell so you can see when all of my other new videos are coming out. And also, if you have any sort of problems with your walking technique, posture, or musculoskeletal pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back, the videos on the channel can be very helpful. There are many videos. I know it can be almost overwhelming, but it's a good idea to just start and begin watching them. You'll find that there's some repeated patterns in what I say over and over again, but sometimes I say it in just the right way in one video that might be different than what you heard in another video that helps you finally get it and really get that body-mind connection going, and that's going to really help with your alignment, your fluidity of movement and reducing the impact on your joints. Have a great day.